Tell me about a time where you had to work with a difficult person. Instead of coming up empty-handed, here's a trick that you can use to pivot. That's a great question. I can't think of an exact moment where I had to work with someone difficult, but can I tell you about a similar experience where a group of mine disagreed and we had to overcome that challenge? Boom. Although your mind was running blank and for some reason nothing came up, by pivoting to a similar experience, you're still showing how you deal with conflict, which was the theme of that question. It's okay to not follow the interview script exactly and every once in a while to have to pivot. But showing that you can think on your feet and still give an answer that gives value about who you are as a person and as a candidate is a win. You are leaving money on the table if you negotiate your salary like this. Yeah, that offer sounds good. I was hoping for maybe a little bit more. Like, is there any flexibility? No! It's coming off weak, but here's how you can absolutely kill it. Thank you, I really appreciate the offer. However, based on my research, the market rate for this role in our industry is closer to $80,000. And with the rising cost of living in California and the work experience I can bring, I believe that's a fair number. I am also considering another opportunity that's in a similar range, but I'd love to bring my skills to this team if we can get closer to that figure. See the difference? You show research confidence and actual reasons why they should pay you more, not just because you want them to. Now that's how you get paid what you're worth. Okay, LinkedIn. Before your interview, find someone with a similar role at that company and then send them a quick message. It can be as simple as, hey, I'm applying for XYZ job at XYZ company, and I would love to hear about your experience. Would you be open to a quick 10 to 15 minute chat? You might have to send out a few of those messages, but somebody will likely respond. The conversation will ultimately help you in 3 major ways. First, you're going to feel more prepared going into the interview, and you can even name drop them to show that you're going above and beyond to prepare. Second, you'll have real insights you can use to tailor your answers during the actual interview. And third, this connection might actually vouch for you, which actually happens a lot in my experience. And them mentioning your name means that you have a cheerleader inside and somebody else advocating you, which is a huge step up. Networking isn't just for once you get the job. Use it to land the job. Try this before your next interview, and trust me, it's gonna help.
How to answer, tell me about yourself.
My name is Carrie. I graduated from State University with a degree in business. I did some internships with Johnson.
Whoa.
Why doesn't it work? Because it's not memorable. It's just a list. No story, no personality, no theme. If that were your 30-second elevator pitch, they're gonna walk away and not really remember much about you. But this works. My colleagues tell me that I'm an innovative thinker. My sophomore year of college, I noticed something. Our business club was barely raising enough money to run events. So I pitched a new sponsorship strategy, and within a semester, we doubled our funding. That same mindset helped me with an internship with Johnson & Johnson, where I redesigned an outdated workflow that saved the team hours every week. I have always been the kind of person who sees room for improvement and has to fix it. Now I'm looking for my next challenge, bringing that same innovative thinking to a company that values fresh ideas. Awesome! Now that is going to make people walk away saying, hey, she's an innovative thinker who's going to bring us fresh ideas. And they'll believe it. You will be 5 times more likely to get the job if you ask this question at the end of an interview. Given our conversation so far, are there any hesitations that you have about hiring me? I know. It's bold, it's intimidating, but it's so effective. The first time I asked this, my heart was racing. What was the recruiter going to think? I mean, were they going to think that was a weird question? Was she going to roast me on the spot? Well, we are looking at other candidates with more experience. Ouch, that hurt a little bit, but it gave me a chance to respond. Here's what I said. It sounds like you were looking for somebody who can jump right in and not struggle too much with the transition of everything. And although I don't have a ton of industry experience, I am a super quick learner and I adapt to new situations well. Let me tell you about a time where I did this. And then I went on to tell her. So this was actually an opportunity to understand what her objections were and address them instead of later getting the rejection email and wondering, why did they not want me again? And guess what? In this situation, my response actually worked and I later got the job. And to be honest, would I have gotten it if I didn't ask that question at the end of the interview? Probably not. This question puts you in control, shows your confidence, and signals a growth mindset. Employers love that. So will you try this question in your next interview? There is one perspective that transformed my relationship with interviews. I used to go in thinking, there's this big scary person here and I need to be pristine and absolutely put together and answer everything perfectly. And that would stress me out a lot. And so then when I get into the interview, sometimes I'd be so stressed that my mind would go blank or I would just sound like a robot. And it was boring. But that is until I realized this
one thing that completely changed everything for me. And it's as simple as recognizing that the interviewer is human, so they want just a normal human interaction. They wanted me to show my personality, to be myself, yes, professional, of course, but also just not stuck in this robot zone. Sometimes it's just a fresh break to talk to somebody who is going to be excited, energized, show some personality, maybe even crack a few jokes if that's the vibe. But for me to do this, I had to get out of this mindset that this interview has to be this super structured thing. I had to remember that my personality should shine, that this is a real human interaction, and they're gonna like me better that way, and it will actually help my interview odds. Yes, be professional, but don't forget that this is just a regular human interaction. So let yourself be you.